Yo dudes!
Welcome to simple, delicious tofu curry that we make every week.
So it takes 10 minutes to make. On your marks.
Get set, go!
So we have a pan smoking. Into that pan I'm going to go with a tablespoon of oil, approximately 200-gram block of firm tofu, and I'm going to cube it, chop it down lengthwise.
So the trick with tofu is infusing the flavor into it. So we're making sure that we're chopping this in half lengthwise and then we're cubing to small little cubes. The finer you chop it, the more the surface area which to imbue with flavor.
But also I think there's a smaller area to the center of the tofu.
Ooh, nice sizzle.
Yeah, keep that moving in the pan.
Okay, the pan is very hot, so make sure we're gonna have to keep this tofu moving nice and finely.
Okay, so we've got half a thumb-sized piece of ginger. I'm gonna dice that into nice and fine, just to get more flavor going into our tofu.
So I've added a couple of sprays of oil there. I can see it starting to stick.
And that goes into the pan. As that's frying, I want to make this go nice and golden because I just think it looks a lot nicer. I'm going to put a little bit of ground turmeric, approximately half a teaspoon, into that pan, and that's just going to help make it go a lot more golden-y.
If you do want the written recipe to this, it's literally down below, so just click the link and it's on our website.
Ooh, looks a lot more interesting, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It certainly looks a lot more colourful. What goes fantastically well with tofu is tamari.
What's tamari, Dave?
Tamari is a wheat-free soy sauce that is from Japan in origin, rather than soy sauce is typically Chinese in origin. It's got more wholesome ingredients and it is gluten-free.
So we're going to go with 2 tablespoons of tamari.
And tamari, as soon as it hits the pan, it does start to, you know, I don't know what you call it, it does start to smoke straight away, yeah. And note the colour's gone a little bit brown, a little bit golden-y. It has that kind of almost like paneer type colour to it.
Looks great.
As soon as the tamari evaporates, we're going to take it off the pan and then we're going to cook down our veg. So we're now about 7.5 minutes into our recipe.
Base of an Indian stock typically is onion, garlic, ginger and chilli. So I'm going to prepare all these while Dave's just finishing off. Obviously, if you're doing this on your own, you'll have to do 2 things at the same time. But
I am just going to keep cooking this for another minute just until we... I do like when it gets crispy and it gets a little bit firm on the outside. It really is nice. So. But it looks really nice. The ginger has become nice, kind of brown. It's infused a bit of the tamari as well. It's got that flavour going on through it. Okay, we'll transfer this to a bowl. Okay, so we've set our tofu aside.
If your pan does look a little bit dirty, or it looks a little bit...
add a little bit of water and deglaze the pan. So I've added about 4 tablespoons.
And I'm just going to finely dice this red onion.
And I just want to take all that flavour off and make sure it doesn't just stick to the pan. So great technique there of not wasting any flavour. We're using red onion here purely for the colour. So we're on 6 minute 30s, we're 3.5 minutes into the dish.
Woo! Pressure
As Steve said, we're making an Indian stock here. So we've got red onion, we've got garlic, and we've got ginger and a little bit of chilli.
Okay.
So here he goes. Note the way how Steve dices an onion. Okay, 5 minutes 50, Stevie. Time to get this show on the road.
Woo! Okay. Not much of an L sizzle there.
Lots of water in the pan, that's why. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit of oil just to make sure. Are we cooking on high heat? Oh, I reduced it.
Okay, let's go with high heat, great.
Okay, we're cooking on a high heat now.
So onion, garlic, ginger and chilli, in goes our onion. Next step, let's go with ginger. Garlic, put in the last, because garlic typically has the highest burn point. And when garlic burns, it can go, it goes dark, and through that darkness it becomes bitter. So there goes in our ginger. Chilli, obviously, if you don't want it as hot, remove the seeds.
Oh, wow.
You doing all right?
Yes, full on the eye. I guess the onions are not properly aged.
Okay, in goes roughly chopped chilli and 2 cloves of garlic. We doing okay time-wise?
Yeah, we've got 5 minutes left. So this is an easy dinner. I know there is 2 of us here, but I can cook this in 10 minutes at home myself.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, some man.
Might take you 15, but you know, either way, it's a quick, healthy dinner.
And Stevie, is this dish high in protein?
Yes.
Yes.
So the main veg that we're using here is tofu and beans. both with approximately about 20% protein, so a good protein source as well as complex carbohydrate.
And the wonderful thing, yeah, fibers, they're both high in fiber. Like tofu in its very nature it's a soya bean. Its very essence is soya bean, which means that it's high in fiber. It also makes it really high in phytoestrogens. Ooh, we do a course with a consultant gastroenterologist, or no, a gynecologist. We have a happy menopause course, and she talks about the importance of eating soya-based foods because they're full of phytoestrogens for great at helping balance hormones. So yeah, check that out if you're interested. That's on our website.
Okay, 1 tablespoon of cumin seed in there, just as our base flavors. And we want them to pop on the dry pan like that. While that's ready, I'm going to get the rest of our spices ready. I have 2 tablespoons of a medium curry powder. We wanted to keep this very easy and very accessible. 1, it was a very generous one.
And when you add them to a dry pan like this, it does tend to smoke a little.
And as it smokes, if you're worried, we have a tin of black beans which we've drained and rinsed. So there's going to be a bit of moisture from that that's going to help just distribute the spices. I have a little pinch of ground cinnamon. Leave it out if you don't like, but I think it adds just that nice aromatic note to the dish.
In terms of the sauce, we're going to have 1 tin of coconut milk. This coconut milk tends to be very fatty.
Oh, it's delicious.
You might need a spoon to help me.
Oh, look at that.
Creamy. Creamy and indulgent, it really is.
Along with that, I'm just going to fill the remaining can with water so that we'll have 1 400ml tin of coconut milk, and I'm going to go with 1 tin of water.
So that by doing that, that is the equivalent of 2 low-fat cans of coconut milk. So we're just diluting the richness of the coconut milk. And the fat, this is the saturated fat part of the coconut milk, is the white bit. And as it hits the heat and as it reaches beyond 20 degrees, it does start to melt. Okay, time to add. In terms of greens are super, super important for kind of elevating this. We've got 1 bag of baby kale.
If you don't have kale, you could use baby spinach. I'm going to put this in whole leaf because I just think it's such a beautiful veg. If you don't have baby kale, baby spinach will do great. Kale
or frozen spinach works really well too as well.
So approximately 100 grams. Juice of half a lime, it'll help with the absorption of the iron from the spinach or the baby kale in this case. It'll also help cut through the kind of richness of the coconut milk.
Yeah, so the kale does look very leathery. It looks like I've added a whole jungle in here.
And in goes our tofu. The reason why we're going with tofu towards the end of this dish, if we put it in too early, it'll help just lose that flavor that it's kind of built on the surface of it.
So it presents beautifully.
So most important with any dish is to season it as you go. We have 1 minute 50 to do that, Mr. Flynn. So.
Lovely, definitely need salt. Good bit of salt, and I'd probably go with it a bit more tamari.
Okay, great.
So, always with seasoning, you've got the 5 basic flavors. You've got salt, sweet, bitter, acidic, and umami. And we'd always start with salt. And one of our cooking mantras is, no amount of fancy cooking techniques will ever make up for an under-seasoned dish. And by that we mean salt. So always kind of start with salt. And I'd start small with salt because you don't want to over-salt a dish.
So I went with approximately 1 teaspoon of salt, and I went with kind of about 1.5 tablespoons of
tamari. And you could use soya sauce instead of that. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We have one that is a 9-minute curry. Woo, woo. My woohoos weren't that good, but you get the idea. We're going to serve this with a simple, we added a pack of pre-cooked rice. It was a 2-minute pre-cooked rice. It does look great, doesn't it? In hindsight, I might have probably only added 200ml of liquid.
But I think it's just beautiful. It's simple.
Yeah,
simple, easy to make. I'm going to serve this with a little bit of some sauerkraut, just to give a pop of colour.
And sauerkraut, in case you're wondering, it's just a fermented cabbage, which is naturally probiotic. And in this case, it adds that beautiful contrast to colour. So you can see it looks fantastic, presents really, really well.
Took 10 minutes from start to finish.
Yeah, all that's left to do at this stage is to taste it and give you our feedback on it. So
I love the baby kale.
Smells lovely.
Looks beautiful.
Lovely. Oh, it's really good. And kale is #1 in the nutrient density aggregate index.
It's beautiful, it's light, it's easy.
Well, it's smooth, it tastes very nourishing. I do actually like the 400ml of water, and it's very tasty.
Yeah. Beautiful, simple tofu curry that we make regularly, most weeks, and it's something that our families really, really enjoy.
Yeah, so as we said, the recipe is down below. Just click on the link and you go to our website and you can have the written recipe there. And if you want to learn more, we've got a recipe club where we've got more than 600 recipes in a full community.
And the goal of it is to support you to eat more plant-based.
Yeah. So thank you very much. We really appreciate your time and wishing you all the very best. Cheers,
Bye.
bye.